up, everyone? Okay, are you wearing clothes right now? Sure, we're all wearing clothes, right? Okay, let's talk about fashion. So the women in the pictures is the role models of a female entrepreneur. So she was married to my dad when she was 18, and she had me when she was 24. So without a college degree, she had to work extra hard to provide a family and give both her daughters the access that she never had before. So she still works extra hard today, and she has taken a very self-led route when it comes to entrepreneurship that surely has a very big influence on me. So you might heard from the news or somewhere that Vietnam is one of the biggest garment manufacturing hubs of the world. And as soon as I turned 7 years old, my mom would took me to one of the manufacturing hubs. She would took me to work with her at a garment factory. So I got to play around the factory while moms were working. And what I've seen is the laborers, the workers there, they made just enough to live day by day. So the common scenario is that they have to send half of their salary back to their hometowns for the family. And what left is just enough for them to pay rent for a 5-meter square room in the city to live. But that dead-end job is way much better than any kind of job they can get back in their hometown, because agricultural land is sold to big bucket players to build bigger and bigger factories. And they have to work extra hours. It's very common. They have to work like 18 or 20 hours per day so they can save for unforeseen circumstances. Otherwise, they would have to turn into hot loans if anything unexpected happened. And it's not that I heard from the news or see from the news. All of these things was visible to my eyes in real life. So the work at the factory just kept my mom away from her kids so often. So she decided to quit and run a garment workshop back in our living room. So basically, we was having a mini sweatshop at our homes as well. So she made black trousers that cost 15,000 dong. So $1 was 15,000 dong back then. And then she would sell to the vendors at the market for 300 or 400,000 each pair. Because when she sells it to the vendor, they will cut out the tax and replace it into some other tax with foreign language. And so it is sold for 20 times the original, the cost, because it bears another nationality. So I was so upset as a kid when I saw that. I can't accept the fact that what my mom has been spending time to make only cost $1, 15,000 dong, and then got sold for 20 times the price, because it's now considered imported goods. So that made me want to also, at 7, I want to own a fashion company so big that my mom would never, ever have to work a single day again in her life. So when everybody, including myself, when I say that I would work in fashion, they think that I would be a fashion designer or marketing director of a fashion company or editor-in-chief of a fashion magazine. But what happened during my childhood time and what I have learned about the broken value chains of the fashion industry led me elsewhere. So, we all wear clothes, right? So what are you wearing today in this room? It could be a shirt, a dress, a hoodie, or a t-shirt. No matter how they look, how different they look on the outside, they might just all be the same. They might just all be plastics. So fashion accounts for 60 million tons of plastic produced yearly. Do you know how? Do you know how? Polyester. The fashion industry loves polyesters because it's easy to produce. It can mold into different kinds of fabrics and garments. And above all, the cost to produce polyester fabric is way more lower than the cost to produce any other kinds of materials. So fashion is the second largest product group that made from petrochemical plastic, just behind packagings. I am very happy that nowadays people, especially the younger ones, bring your old cups to the coffee shop to buy your old drink. Anyone bring your old cups? Okay, cool. And refuse to use a plastic straw. But I also hope that you are aware that what you are wearing, maybe right now, is no different than that plastic cup, bags, and straw. So, plastic shirt or polyester shirt, when we wash or we are even wearing them, release microplastics. Scientists estimated that 35% of microplastic found in the ocean could be traced back to textile. So basically, we are polluting the water we drink and the air we breathe simply by washing and wearing clothes without knowing it. And it's not to mention the hazardous chemical that release and pollute the biggest rivers in the world. That creates serious biodiversity loss, and millions of people suffer from disease like dermatitis, intestinal problem, and also delay of child development, chronic bronchitis, and a significant incidence of tumor by using the contaminated water. So, for so long, the fashion industry has been focusing on the end customer. So I have another question, and this is kind of funny, but please think about it, okay? Have you ever wondered why you can go to a fashion store and buy a shirt or a dress, use it, but when you are done with it, you cannot return to that store or that brand to give back the dress? But you have to deal with the afterlife on your own. You have no idea what the dress or the shirt is made from. So the producer or the manufacturer or the seller need to be responsible for it, right? Okay, so the shirt or the item that we wear, and if it is plastic, even if it made from natural fibers, it is very hard to compost it in the landfills. So it will stay there for 100 years, and less than 1% of all the fibers in the world is recycled into new garments. So for so long, the fashion industry has been finding ways to satisfy only the end customer, which is us. Designer, fashion company, fashion brands has been finding ways to make clothes more affordable, fashionable, sexy, more convenient for you to buy. So the linear fashion models designed to maximize production and consumption at the expense of the workers, especially female workers in developing countries, women like my mother. And it's bets on the future of the next generation and the existence of human beings. The good news is, since natural resources is becoming more secure, and more people are concerned about their fashion purchase, the fashion industry starts to embrace the idea of circular fashion. So what is circular fashion, and how is it different from linear fashion? So in linear fashion system, clothes are made to be thrown away. But in circular fashion system, clothes are made to use more, made to be made again, make from safe and recycle or renewable input. Okay, so let me give an example for you to easier to understand. When the future of fashion is circular, the ideal scenario would be one day you would be able to go to a store to buy or preferably rent an item that is made from recycled or biodegradable fabric, and the process of making that fabric or that item release or require almost zero toxic chemicals to produce it. And the shirt or the item is made to sustain and last it, both its physical and emotional appeal. So it could be worn by different wearers for a longer period of time before it is giving back to the store, the brands, or the producer to be disassembled, to be reused, remade, and after maximum use, safely composted. I know this sounds like an unrealistic scenario, an unrealistic future. It is the future that, in the word of the Ellen MacArthur Foundation, that require collaborative efforts from industry and government. It requires significant investment, large-scale innovation, transparency, and traceability. But I do believe that together, if we take action, we can get it started today. The linear, wasteful fashion system is ready for disruption. So, what action you can take, you might ask? I would say it is from the smallest thing, from reading the label when you shop for clothes, to even creating or starting a business that will change the world one day. So if you truly believe in doing good and being good, the community of like-minded will help you to turn your dream into reality. You can trust me because I've been there. So I would like to share a little bit about my entrepreneurship journey. I hope that this little story will motivate and encourage you, the young, smart, intelligent, beautiful people in this room today, to start something, to encourage people around you and inspire them regardless of your age and condition. So in 2019, I started my second-hand business with 5 million Vietnam dong. So why second-hand? You might ask why I choose second-hand. Because according to the American Apparel Association, if you buy second-hand, you will reduce 500 pounds of carbon emission yearly. And it's also, buying secondhand also reduce the water and waste consumed per person up to 80% compared to ordinary fashion consumption. Also, financially, it is hundreds of billions of dollars is lost per year due to the discarding of the clothes that we continue to wear, but instead it just goes straight to landfill. So it's beside the environmental impact, it is a business opportunity not to be missed. So along the way that I've been working on my business, I realized one key thing. That most of the harm that we do to the environment are unintentional, because there are limited information out there about how fashion is killing the planet and how buying secondhand, buying used clothes, reusing clothes could help save natural resources and contribute to a circular future of fashion. So that's the gap in the market I want to fill in. So besides commercial activity, I also turned my business into a media outlet, a platform to inform and inspire people about fashion sustainability. And that works, like just simple as that. So we've been talking about, like I'm standing here talking with you today. We've been using our business as a platform to talk about sustainability. And that got us the attention of key industrial partners, of investors, of customers. And even A-list celebrities, they love the idea, so they wanted to join the movement with us because because they want to share the vision and the values. And then we have almost 80,000 members join our middle CEDA group. And the members were actively sharing about their style and tips and how to be practical in joining the sustainable fashion movement. And the best content in the group was featured on top most visited site in the country. And my heart was filled with joy. So after a lot of years after COVID, we are now, after 5 million Vietnam dong and 3 racks of clothes, we are now a fashion company with 10 people who are passionate about creating good from their work, and we're on the way to become the largest e-commerce fashion site of the country. Since the beginning of 2022, we have rescued more than 10,000 items, and that equivalent to 140,000 kilos of CO2 display, and saved 5,000 million liters of water, with more than 3,000 happy customers who joined the wave to create a better future with us. So, I have always loved dressing up as a young girl, and I always dreamed to work in the fashion industry for a long time ago. But if a brand is overproduced, encourage overconsumption, and has no end-of-life solution, for every garment is created, I don't want it. It is time for us to rethink our consuming, manufacturing, creating, building, extracting, transporting, selling, fashion, in order to understand how and why we can reduce our unintentional pressure on the planet by reusing material, energy, and resources, and recycling everything at the end of its life cycle. Nobody should die for fashion. Thank you.